we now experience, there also exists an extraordinary opportunity to form for the first time in history a truly global society, carried by the principle of interdependence. And if we act wisely and with wisdom, I think we can look back to all this turmoil as the birth pangs of a more creative turmoil, as the birth pangs of a more creative.
And today, that new world is struggling to be born.
All right, President Donald Trump delivering his State of the Union address tonight, claiming a U.S. golden age, even sparring with Democrats at
National
times.
correspondent Atra El-Nashar has this from Washington.
President Trump spending the bulk of his 107-minute State of the Union address talking about the economy, specifically the cost of living.
The President of the United States.
There is a trending retweet of yours. You retweeted somebody from Il Duce 2016. It was a Mussolini quote, but you didn't know it was Mussolini when you retweeted. It said, "It is better to live one day as a lion than 100 years as a sheep." That's a famous Mussolini quote. You retweeted it.
There are elections that come and go. Some elections are, important. Some are not. But this one, this one really mattered. And I just want to say thank you for making it happen. Thank you.
Interesting quote, and I know it. I saw it. I saw what, and I know who said it. But what difference does it make whether it's Mussolini or somebody else? It's certainly a very interesting quote.
Well,
that's probably why I have
is a
between
known
Facebook
fascist.
And Twitter 14 million people, and other people don't.
Do you want to be
It's a very
associated?
interesting quote, and people can talk about it.
You want to be associated with a fascist?
No, I want to be associated with interesting quotes. And people, I have almost 14 million people between Instagram and Facebook and Twitter and all of that.
Right.
President Trump kicking off a marathon speech with a victory lap after a year and a month back in office.
We're winning so much that we really don't know what to do about it. People are asking me, please, 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 Mr. President, we're winning too much.
Even as Americans struggle with persistent inflation, the president insists the economy has entered a golden age under his watch, promoting his tax policies.
With the great, big, beautiful bill, we gave you no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, and no tax on Social Security.
Trying to scrape up a down payment for a little fixer-upper in your neighborhood? Take a look at my next guest. There's a report around Wall Street that this is what he has in mind. This is Donald Trump, 33 years old. And some people think that he wants to buy the World Trade Center, the 110-story Manhattan skyscraper that anyone can pick up if they've got the coin.
Napoleon, Alexander the Great, Donald Trump, we're all cut from the same cloth.
Well, this is rather interesting, actually. This is arcane Scottish heraldic law providing evidence of Donald Trump's deep Anglophilia, I would say, and also touches upon the royal prerogative. There we have the double-headed eagle representing his Scottish Germanic heritage.
They wore Hitler's uniforms, but they wrapped themselves in the American flag. They preached the doctrine of racial and class hatred, for Hitler had said America could be conquered from within.
Thrilled to be back in the city I love, and thousands of proud, hard-working American patriots. You're with me. We're all together. We've always been together. And I'd like to begin by asking a very simple question. Are you better off now than you were 4 years ago? This election is a choice between whether we will have 4 more years of gross incompetence and failure, or whether we will begin the 4 greatest years in the history of our country. This will be America's new golden age. It's going to happen quickly, too, very quickly.
President Donald Trump was awarded the FIFA's inaugural Peace Prize that was awarded by soccer's governing body. Now, ever since FIFA announced that they were going to give this Peace Prize, there's been a lot of speculation that President Trump was going to get this award. President Trump and FIFA President Gianni Infantino are very close allies, and Infantino is a frequent visitor to the Oval Office right here at the White House. The announcement of the award came around the time that the U.S. president was basically openly campaigning to get the Nobel Peace Prize, which he was eventually not awarded. So what happened at the Kennedy Center early Friday was something that we all expected for some time now, that President Trump was the first recipient of the FIFA Peace Prize. This seemed really generated by Infantino himself. There were some FIFA officials who kind of learned about the announcement of this prize in the news, but it's also not a surprise because, like we've said, Infantino and Trump have built very close ties. They've been friends for years now, but now that President Trump is back in the office and America is on the verge of hosting the World Cup along with Canada and Mexico, Infantino has been at the White House very frequently for various World Cup announcements and also just to socialize with Trump.
And on that day, a dark warrior rose to the earth to destroy the beautiful game.
Maybe they're friendly.
Au revoir.
And fall as an overripe plum to the Nazi master race.
Jewish Moscow directed domination.
We let them speak. When occasionally a lone outraged dissenter wanted to air his opposition, we provided police to preserve order. This was Madison Square Garden in New York City, and not Berlin nor Nuremberg. Later, the speaker was arrested. It was because he had filched money from his deluded followers, and he was sent to Sing Sing to brood upon the strange ways of democracy.
What is this?
Newsreel film. It shows us winning the war.
But we didn't win the war.
Now we have a better world. There are those who seek to drag us all backward.
We have arrested suspects smuggling subversive films.
That film shows the world not as it could be, but as it is.
Promise us that you will keep your commitments and invest in our future.
It might sound symbolic, but I think it's a very powerful message that
young people are witnessing this moment. They are going to be partners in the implementation, but also they will hold governments accountable to the promise they are making today. It's a history being made today. We're extremely honored that this opportunity is happening in our lifetime as a generation and the largest generation of young people. I think we'll be up to the challenge and we'll be challenging everyone to do more.
He arrived with the trappings of a head of state, but as he prefers it, his was the smallest vehicle in the entourage. Welcomed at the door by the UN chief, he met briefly with UN staff, paid tribute to the organization's fallen, and then challenged the General Assembly to change.
The need for greater equity is especially true in the case of those bodies with effective executive capabilities such as the Security Council, the financial agencies, and the groups or mechanisms which were specifically created to deal with economic crises.
To a capacity audience, he likened harm to the environment as harm against humanity, urged UN member states to ensure the uncontested rule of law, calling on them to dismantle nuclear weapons and avoid war between nations and peoples.
These realities should serve as a grave summons to an examination of conscience on the part of those charged with the conduct of international affairs, and not only in cases of religious or cultural persecution, but in every situation of conflict, as in Ukraine, Syria, Iraq, Libya, South Sudan, and the Great Lakes region. Real human beings take precedence over partisan interests, however legitimate the latter may be.
He called for the UN Charter to be upheld.
When the Charter of the United Nations is respected and applied with transparency and sincerity and without ulterior motives as an obligatory reference point of justice, and not as a means for masking spurious intentions, peaceful results will be attained.
Today, the Pope offered to host peace talks at the Vatican to end the war between Russia and Ukraine. According to several reports, Pope Leo XIV said he wants to bring Vladimir Putin and Vladimir Zelensky to the Holy See after peace talks in Istanbul failed. In a meeting with the diplomatic corps, the pontiff today laid out the priorities for his papacy, which includes peace, starting with Ukraine and the Holy Land. This meeting is one of the protocol requirements after a conclave allowing a new pope to greet representatives of world government.
It has to be about something more. I need answers.
They're scared. Scared this film could bring this whole thing tumbling down. A film that shows another world? So what?
So it means that maybe the world can change. Take this. What is this?
It's a new film?
There's something different about this one.
Different how?
I thought it would be a little scary. But then I actually came to see it and found it very beautiful.
The way the android speaks like a real human being made me, personally, feel very close to it.
Tensho Goto hopes Mindar will be the first of many androids to deliver the teachings of Buddhism, the high-tech way.
Of eternity. A bond
forever and beyond.
Force field. It's a dome. We're at the edge of the arena.
We are all standing under a glass ceiling right now. And the light is shining through like never before, filling us all with the hope and the sure knowledge that the path will be a little easier next time.